What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Chig coming at you with another Diablo 3 build guide. Today we're going to be going over the Sunwuko Wave of Light build, which is a good starter point for building the LOD build that we've talked about the past couple of days. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to help support the channel for free. I've also decided that I want to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So in order to enter, all you need to do is be subscribed to the channel, like each video that has that mentioned in the beginning, and comment on each video that has that mentioned in the beginning. So what we'll do is after we hit 1,000, I'll go back through all those videos, I'll put everybody in a spreadsheet, I'll use a random number generator, and I'll pick a winner. Depending on how long that takes, we will either do a copy of D4 or another video game of your choice if you already have D4 or something along those lines. Just something in that neighborhood as far as value goes. Anyways, let's hop right into it. So let's start with the gear. The Sunwuko set, which is the Monkey King's garb, but you know, nobody ever says that. They always say Sunwuko. So as usual, none of my gear is optimized or re-rolled or anything. I do have a couple of good pieces because I've been playing forever, but there you go. So the 2 set, your damage taken is reduced by 50% while Sweeping Wind is active. The 4 set, every second Sweeping Wind spawns a decoy next to the last enemy you hit that taunts nearby enemies and then explodes for 1,000% weapon damage for each stack of Sweeping Winds you have. And Lashing, Tail Kick, Tempest Rush, Wave of Light have their damage increased by 1,500% for each stack of Sweeping Winds that you have. That's all going to be important here in a second. We're using Sovereign's Gaze. Wave of Light now cast at your enemy because we are just going to be casting these all over and deleting the screens. Sunwuko Shines, we are using the shoulders, the legs, the neck, the hands, and the chest piece. We're using Pinto's Pride, rolled fire damage because you want to get fire damage where you can. And this makes Wave of Light slow enemies and take increased damage. The range is 125 to 150. Mine rolled pretty decent. The life per hit's kind of meh, but we'll take it. Then we're using the Caps and Crimsons 3 set. So that makes it where damage dealt is increased by your percentage of cooldown reduction and damage taken is reduced by your percentage of cost reduction, and it also gives you 20% of each of those. We're wearing a Ring of Royal Grandeur because we need to have the 6-piece for Sunwukos and the 3-piece for Captain Crimson's. And when I'm talking about my gear's not really optimized, I'm wearing an int belt. Like, this is literally, it is insanely powerful. And then we are using a Stone of Jordan, also rolled fire, if you can make that happen. So the stat priority on this is going to be fire damage on the pieces it can roll, cooldown next, and then crit. Attack speed for t16 stuff, area damage for pushing. And then we're using an Ingoim. This is my crafted primal, just for the 10 seconds. We're using Vengeful Wind, which is going to stack up the maximum stacks of Vengeful Wind, and by that I mean Sweeping Wind, by 10. So we'll have 13 total stacks. Synergizes well with the 6-piece, and increases the damage of Sweeping Wind by 600 to 800%. I got a decent roll here too. We're also using emeralds in the weapons for increased critical hit damage, cooldown gem in the hat, resist gems in the armor. You could put emeralds here, it doesn't matter. Like, you're super tanky because we are using the gold wrap and avarice band on the follower. We are using Squirt's necklace in the cube because when taking no damage, your damage increased by 100%, your damage taken is increased by 50. We're using the gold wrap, like I just mentioned, because we are going to have basically infinity toughness. We're going to have so much toughness sometimes that the toughness will read 0. And then Incense Torch of the Grand Temple, Spirit Cost of Wave of Light reduced by 50%, and damage increased by 550%. That's the biggest thing on the build. It's going to be dealing the most damage. It's going to be amazing. Alright, so let's move on to the skills. So for the skills, we're using Mystic Ally, Air Ally. This is so we can pop this as basically a spirit potion whenever we need it. Most of the time you don't need it. You are going to be rolling in spirit, and you'll see why as we go through these. Epiphany Insight. So you're used to using Desert Shroud. We're using Insight for extra spirit regeneration, because we are trying to get as much spirit regeneration as we can because we are just dashing around and dropping bells. Dashing Strike Quicksilver because we want to have as many charges of this as possible when we don't have Ingowim up, and then we're just going to be buzzing around like crazy. Wave of Light, Explosive Light, this is going to just be absolutely deleting and clearing the screen. Sweeping Wind, Inner Storm. After you get at least 3 stacks of Sweeping Wind, you get 8 spirit per second. Like I said, everything we're doing is basically trying to get our spirit up because we are trying to go as fast as possible and be able to just drop bells like mad. Mantra of Healing, Circular Breathing. We never activate this. You can if you want to. There's really no reason. The whole point is 3 spirit per second. This is just giving us back some resource so we can keep going, keep going, keep going. We've got Momentum. After moving 25 yards, your damage is increased by 20% for 6 seconds. This will literally always be up all of the time. Beacon of Vitar, an extra 20% cooldown reduction since CDR is our best stat. Seize the Initiative. Whenever you deal damage to enemies above 75% HP, you get 30% increased attack speed for 4 seconds. So this is going to make us drop bells faster. This is going to make us dash faster. This is just going to make the entire build faster. It's going to let us get around quicker. It's going to be amazing. Near-death experience is literally here just in case we get one shot before we start picking up gold. That's it. Alright, so the legendary gems, we are using Boon of the Hoarder for Avarice Band and Gold Wrap, just to get all the gold, all the money. Obviously we need money because we're empowering rifts later on. We're using Zaya's Stone of Vengeance because you're just dropping bombs all over the screen. You will one-shot stuff that's off the screen. You'll one-shot stuff that's on the screen. It's amazing. And then we're using Bane of the Trapped because everything that's slowed takes more damage. Our Wave of Light slows. Everything around us gets slowed. And it's just amazing. So let's go ahead and do a normal rift real quick so I can show you how fast this is. So the play style, you pop your spirit, your wind, you go ahead, you drop some bells, you got to get stacks up, right? And then after you get stacks up, your damage starts multiplying, right? So we're at 5 stacks. 7 stacks, and then once you get up 10 stacks ish, so we're at 8, we're one-shotting stuff, right? So now you just dash around, look for elites, look for big density, and you just drop your bombs, man. Pick up the gems. All right, here you go. One-shot yellows, one shot, and you just go. I know if anybody has seen my T16 videos before, I do not pick up legendaries unless they are primals. So if you see me run past something, do not be alarmed. Other than that, we just go, right? We ran out of spirit there, so we popped another thing, and that was literally just because I forgot to press Epiphany, right? Like, sometimes you will just forget. Walking through that door, I accidentally let my stacks fall off, so that is the only thing you actually have to watch in the build, is not letting your stacks fall off. So pick them back up. So anytime you hit Sweeping Wind, it will reset your duration, right? So anytime you hit an enemy, it's going to reset the duration, but anytime you press the button, it also resets the duration. It does not put you back to 1 stack, right? So it is definitely easy money, easy build. There's nothing difficult about this. Get a couple stacks, start rolling, super easy. I would highly recommend using this to farm your LOD build, just because it's so easy to get this started and it shares some similar pieces. And you know, some people just don't like playing innas, so there you go. That's the build, that's what we're doing. Yeah, if you got any questions, leave them down in the comments. Don't forget we're doing the giveaway. Like, subscribe, anything you can do. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Happy hunting.